o'clock, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Colin is gonna be with us today.
Okay. Yes, I am recording. This is for the Stigler News Sentinel, and it'll be posted on our website later this week.
Roll call. Marvin Miller.
Here.
Marvin Green.
Here.
Paul Story.
y'all remember for?
No, we don't have covers
When you skip did that?
on. No, we don't get this out of this session, we did that.
Number 4, shouldn't they go last of
It's supposed to, but since we signed so many papers, they suggested that we do this.
Oh, wow. Hi, guys. Am I on?
The hot seat.
Huh?
I'll give you the hot seat.
Oh, no, Go ahead.
Come on, Frank.
Go ahead, Frank.
Are you gonna stay? You have one more? Oh. You have one more?
There's 2 more out here. I'm just going to scoot around, I guess. That's it for you here, Rod. Thank you. The last time I blocked the camera, my bald head was shining, so I had to leave my hat on. Had some coffee problems this morning.
Oh, that's not on there. So,
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Down here, Sam.
course, I'll send you the link every time we take the next section. Okay, I don't think it's got some blocks, so everything I've got, there's no one that does those anymore. The newest one, I've got some on my wall, and it's 20 years old.
Do you know if you've got any extras though? What it is? You need to leave a description. The dimensions of the lot. Around those wooden slats. But we might get together.
Yeah, I'll ask Cheryl about that.
Any new business?
There may be some.
Yeah, I have some questions. First thing I wanted to ask was, there's 47 prison counting at the jail. And everything else is about normal. I wanted to check with the commissioner to see Martin last time you were there.
Thursday.
Clark,
Oh, it's been a couple months.
also wanted to ask a question about the shortage on banknote in April 1st. Is anything, are y'all doing anything towards that? Do you know, is there any kind of assurance that it's going to be there?
We're just gonna have to wait and see. We'll just have to come up with it some way.
So you're not taking any actions towards earmarking it or setting it aside?
As far as I know, no.
When we started this, we calculated the shortage at $61,630 that was produced by our county treasurer, Gal Dixon. And at that time, if you divide that by 12, it was $5,600 a month. Now we haven't accomplished or attributed anything to it or earmarked it, so now we're up to, with the remaining 7 months, we're up to $8,804 a month that we need to be earmarked, so that the county constituents have and residents have a assurance that this jail payment's going to be met, and that we're not going to be going into default or have a disaster at the time of the payment. You all agree with that or disagree with it? And what's your comments on
Well, there's only so much money there. I mean, whether you take it from here, put it over there, or what you do with it, it don't make it any better. I mean, you can put the quarter, you can start putting the quarter in there like you suggested, but all that does is create another problem over here where you're taking it out from. It doesn't solve any problems.
And we still ain't been told it was legal to even do that.
it? Was pledged to a bank from the county. So I guess in response to that, there's nothing been done other than just thinking about it. Would you agree with that, Clark?
As far as the pledge, I was told by a former member of the state auditor's office that the county cannot enter into any kind of financial agreement more than 1 year at a time. So as soon as the first June 30th passed, that was void.
And who was that you were talking to?
I'd rather not give his name, but he retired from the state auditor's office. Second command when he retired.
What does that mean it was void? The determination not to put the money, the additional quarter cent in there, or the ability to start doing it as we pledged?
And Bobby, I don't think you're on the agenda. You can't speak.
Randy, would you ask that question for me?
I'll ask it for Bobby.
Well, you're not on the agenda for it either. That's old business. That ain't new business.
Marvin, there's a lot of people got answered, they questions that want to be
Well,
answered.
we've been doing this 10 or 11 months, and neither one of y'all told us how to pay that we could pay for the jail. Not one time have y'all ever said anything for us about how to pay for the jail.
Yeah, I believe we have.
Well, tell me one.
Well, we told you to start accumulating the shortage to make the payment. We've asked you to do it, we begged you to do it.
What, the quarter?
No, the shortage. The shortage, you're gonna be $61,600 short. And we've asked you to earmark it And there's a lot of people in this county who would like for it to be earmarked so that there's insurance that it's there and we're not gonna have some type of emergency deal with it come April 1st. Have y'all not understood that?
I'd like for somebody to tell me how we're gonna operate that jail and this courthouse and pay that payment.
And Clark, it goes back to what the state says and how you manage it. The state has guidelines, if y'all will read them.
Yeah.
Then you're aware of them then.
Yes, I'm aware.
I'm not in disagreement, there's not a money shortage. I'm just wondering how we're gonna make the payment.
How are we ready?
I'm
You
sorry?
seem- How are we? You seem to know everything.
No, I'm asking you, are we earmarking it so that we don't have a crash? Mr. Hills, you're shaking your head no. You have a comment?
I don't have a comment, but paying off the bond issue in sale was done by sales tax. It has nothing to do with the ad valorem tax in this county, right? Right or wrong, sir? Yes or no? I don't want to know a whole bunch of crap. Yes or no?
Well, can you?
Yes
explain-
or no?
Can you explain your question, yes or no? That, what did ad valorem come up into it about? We made
Well,
it
that's what
simple.
the county is funded out of, right?
What we're
And the
asking-
budget. We
what
got a
we're
budget.
asking for, we got a budget, but what we're asking is, are we gonna have the money to make the payment?
I have no idea. 'Cause I haven't seen the budget for next year, and neither have you.
That's correct.
So I don't know how much money is available, neither does these commissioners. Until that is designed, there's nobody knows the thing, right?
I thought we was gonna earmark money out of the budget for that.
If it's available, Frank, we were, right?
We'll try.
That's what we was gonna try to do, set money out of the budget, earmark it for that.
If it's there, if we can.
That's why, I don't know. Is that what we just discussed, was gonna try to do?
And I'm not trying to put anybody on the block here, I'm just trying to make sure that we have money to make our payment come April 1st. And I feel like that if we don't address it every week, then it goes by the wayside. And that's what I want, is I want everybody to be refreshed and know that it's constantly there. And it's something that we're gonna have to deal with come April 1st, 2017.
And we went over well that money, so it ain't, but we're gonna have to see how much money they've got.
Has there been anything done about the authority assembly?
No.
Some discussion was given to this a couple of weeks ago. And we had a guest ask the question, why would you not want to put them on there? And they was referring to the former jail advisory committee. And I would like to, if Marvin don't mind, address that question today. Is that all right, Marvin? And I want to make it clear that I'm not speaking for the whole Board of County Commissioners, I'm speaking for my part of it. The Jail Advisory Committee was formed late last year in hopes of finding a solution to the problem of the huge jail debt. Well, some 8 months or so down the road, we still have no solution to the problem. There was one proposition put forth that would have actually solved the problem. However, 3 of the committee members vigorously opposed it, even to the point of putting articles in the newspaper to help defeat it. And had it not been rendered void because of a mistake made by the district attorney, they more than likely would have defeated it. These newspaper articles stated, among other things, that the majority of the jail committee was against the sales tax. Well, the jail committee consisted of 3 commissioners: Tom Merlott, Randy Harrison, Rick Bumpers, and Rob Humphreys, a total of 7 members. So the truth is that the majority of the committee, 4 members, was for the sales tax, and the minority, 3 members, was against the tax. Randy Harrison sat in this meeting room a couple of months prior to this, after he had had a chance to analyze the jail debt situation, and said that without some new type of tax, we're not going to be able to pay for this jail. And he was right. Yet when the half-cent sales tax came up, he completely reversed course and started saying we didn't need a new tax. So it would seem that their main priority is to make sure the county doesn't pass any new sales tax. And it also seems that they have no real solution to the problem. It is for these reasons that I am opposed to placing these 3 members of the former jail advisory committee on the trust.
So your understanding is that we were against the sales tax?
Yes. Yes.
And did you ever hear me ask how much sales tax did we need? Other than half cent?
I heard you say that it was overkill with one of your statements.
Well,
You believed it
we
was.
asked for months, Clark, for cost analysis of how much it costs to operate the jail. We've never received that to this day. We asked for that you would go to bond counsel that was experts at this to check out this tax to see if not. He led us to believe and told us to hire them and to engage them. And then before we could even talk to them more than twice, he went out for the sales tax behind our backs. None of us were aware of it.
It wasn't behind your back, it was done right in this open meeting.
No, it was done in emergency meetings.
And you were here, right?
Right. You asked us to ask for sound bond counsel to advise us on the tax. And before I could even engage him, or any of us could engage them, you went out for a sales tax. Is that not correct?
And this bond council is also the bond council the city of Stigler uses, is that right?
That's one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand what that's got to do with it. They're highly recognized and they're very prominent people in that field.
Jeff
But
Ray's
still-
probably recognized too.
Well, do you think Jeff Rayleigh's your right man?
What did I tell you when Rick called, what did I tell you?
You told me no.
So I don't know what your comment about Jeff Rayleigh is, but at any rate, Clark,
Well-
back to your question, before we had a chance to find out if that sales tax was legal, and here's the whole thing is that we were afraid that we would get in a litigation lawsuit with American Civil Liberties Union or other agencies fighting that because of the way that it was brought out.
And I don't think the ACLU would ever touch that.
Well, they touched
It and the
Ten
Ten
Commandments.
Commandments is a whole different story.
Well, I know that, but what I'm saying is do you think it would have been right to come out illegal?
Did we not, who is our legal counsel here as county commissioners?
And didn't he make
The
it,
district
Farley
attorney.
Ward, did he not come in here and say that there was a mistake in the way it was wrote up and the way it was asked for?
Yeah, he
And
made
And
it.
he's the one that stopped the sales tax, not us.
But it wasn't because of the economic development issue, and that's what y'all are charging.
Well, maybe he didn't make himself clear.
Well, he didn't. If you think that's what he said, he didn't make it clear to me.
Well, I guess
It was the way
a
that it-
lot of other people did think that it was under those. The only thing that we were worried about, because there had been no precedents ever set for this type of action, that it would have to go to the Supreme Court. Then that would put us in litigation with lawyers and attorneys that we cannot afford to pay for 6 to 10 years to get it to the Supreme Court. And that's what our fear was that we were gonna end up in litigation, we were gonna have a sales tax tied up, and if we did figure out a way to get a sales tax legal, we would have this hanging over our head and stop us from moving forward. That's the reason that we were against that. We asked you to let us go to bond counsel and find a solution for it, and you didn't let us. You moved on it before then, before we had a chance to.
As far as Jeff Rayleigh,
He comes highly recommended. Now, I think that this thing has gone bad, and everybody's wanting to blame somebody, and I think he got the brunt of the blame. I don't necessarily think it was his fault. You can have asked about anywhere about a good bond attorney, and if Jeff Bradley's 9 times out of 10, the recommendation you'll get in the right one.
That's what I told, recommended too.
Well, you felt bad enough about them that you authorized the discharge of them. You voted on it. You recommended that it be done, and we did it. And the only reason that we fought that sales tax was the reasons I just explained. It was not to keep you from getting the sales tax, it was to keep the sales tax legal and to keep it running. We could not stand the loss of, having litigation nor fight the litigation. You can't do something just because it sounds good and it feels like it's gonna bring you some money. If it's not legal, it's not legal.
Like I said,
We
we was
didn't shut-
acting
we
on
didn't
our
shut-
district attorney,
we
our
didn't-
legal counsel.
We didn't shut down, well, Clark, if you were satisfied with your legal counsel, why did you, in a resolution, authorize us to go out and get other bond counsel?
Well, for my part of it, we were doing it because of your recommendation.
But before I had a chance to do that, you took another course.
Yeah, I guess you did. We was in a deal where we had to act to be able to get it on the election, and it was done in a hurry, I'll admit. Mistakes were made, as we all know. But the bottom line is, and you know it, whether you want to admit it today or not, most everybody in this room that studied it knows it, that we are not going to be able to make it without an additional tax. I mean, we might get by this year, I'm not saying that. But on the long term, it's going to sink this county.
Even Mr. Lunchford said we had to have some kind of tax,
So
some
what-
kind of sales tax.
So what are you
I
going to do?
disagree with that, Marvin.
I've talked to him, he's what he
I
told
have
me.
too.
That's what he told me, and you wasn't there, so I know what he told me.
I know that I read his deal, and I've talked to him many times since, and he said that the sales tax was not an avenue or a possibility.
He
Now,
said we had to have some kind of income, so what else kind are there?
well, he did not say a tax.
Yeah, he told me that. I've talked to him several times too.
Let me ask this question, Clark. If you feel like that we'll have the money to make this payment, do you think we have the money to make the 2015 payment?
Oh, well, no, I didn't, but
If we had-
since that time, there have been 4 employees or 4 and a part-time sent to the house, and every other kind of cut made that you can cut around here.
That wouldn't have added up to the payment.
Well, I'm saying that's how we've been able to accumulate a little bit of money.
You think you'd have had, the county would have had the money in cash reserves to make the 2014 payment?
I don't know about, I'll look here in 2000.
It just seems odd to me that we can't make the 2014, we can't make the 2015, but we can make the 2016.
I don't know that we can, Randy. I'm saying we might be able to squeeze one out. According to Frank and them, we might, but that's yet to be determined.
I just wanted to remind everybody that we're still short and that we still need to be accumulating cash to make this payment.
Nothing else, let's move down to number 5. I'll make a motion. Yes.
Could you all speak a little louder? We can't hear anything back here.
That's the prison blanket POs, Barton Ferry,
Yes.
Marvin Nolan.
Yes. Item number 8 is Duffield County Coroner.
Yeah, this is something that the auditor told us we needed to do. I mean, this lady has cleaned that county barn for the last year and a half that I know of, but he said we needed to make a little contract. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that item 8.
I'll second it.
Barton Ferry.
Yes. Yes. Item number 9, discuss and consider signing a service agreement with OSU for error and computer software program.
That's for
Is that
the county assessor. He has to, they did get it for free, but they're charging $2,000 now. He's not going to pay some.
we charging $2,000?
OSU.
So we're charging $2,000 to do it now? This is something new.
Is that for you?
It's for 2016 and 17.
Yeah, so much good thing.
Are you on number 9?
Yes.
Is that something new that you haven't had before?
Yes, it's new.
Do we have the money to pay for it?
Yeah, we got the money to pay for that. That'll be coming out of Rogers' fund. I'll make a motion on that.
I'll second it.
Marvin Nolan,
Yes.
Barton Ferry.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some 324A claims here for the Star Road project. I signed Mr. Ballard Friday. I got, Mr. Martin Friday. I visited Mr. Knowles. We negotiated a deal and hopefully I'll have him this week. So it's coming along slowly. These are to pay landowners, which will come out of the 285 account and not the county's money. It's
Right.
state. You're just assigning the claim over, and that way we don't have to do no checks anymore. How the county.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
You're gonna sign right there, and then up there, with the claimant, you're the chairman, right?
Today.
Karen, you'll have to sign up here. You're assigning that claim over to that person. That way the state will pay them directly. Date it, then Karen, you'll have to do your thing. Attest it. Clark, I also have an administrative settlement needed to sign after the meeting. Yeah, but if you want to, Clark, you can sign it here.
Approval.
Yeah, approval here and have you sign it. Don't, that's okay. That's okay. They'll do it.
Clark, sign. He signed right here.
Yeah, on approval. That way you're more or less seconding the motion. You'll have to do your little seal on it too, Karen. I've got it right here. Sam's not gonna be there Wednesday, so we're gonna use this one. I'll just get all this on here, it's already been approved for our board. That way we can get it approved by the statewide board Wednesday. I'll make you some copies of these, Karen.
Yeah, he can just come
No,
in.
no. Okay. Number 11, discuss and consider signing disaster recovery plan for county clerk's office.
What is that?
That's the case, we have a disaster, so we gotta know where we're gonna go with everything, where we're gonna move to.
Remember, I'm gonna back up to number 10, I forgot to do roll call. So
Okay.
Clark McCreary, Marvin Nolan.
Yes. I'll make a motion on number 11.
I'll second. Karen, do y'all already back those up? So is this much different than what you're already?
We just did that for the officer, basically, it's just, in the courthouse has to be.
Well, they just wanted
something we
to
had
sign
to
the
have.
agreement.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Okay. Marvin Nolan,
Yes.
Clark McCreary.
Yes. Item number 12, discuss and consider the renewal of ETR 2016-17 with CED2.
Yeah, we'll use this one. Sam's already signed this one. We thought we was gonna use that one, but
our bridge, the CED?
It depends on the cycle. It's usually, if it's a good bridge, it's every 2 years. And if it's a CX bridge, which is a critical bridge, it's every 6 months. And then if it's in between the critical and the good, it's every 12 months.
So these people are certified to
Yes.
to do our bridges?
You betcha.
That's right.
By the state.
No cost to the county?
No cost to the county.
Okay.
But that is because, again, of the surge created by the county, that they try to keep taking away from us.
Yeah.
They took 50 million out of it this year, so that's gonna hurt. We won't feel it now, but we will feel it in a couple of years.
Well, I said you need a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
I'll say-
Department 30,
Yes.
Marvin Elman.
Yes. Motion.
Now back up to item number 4.
Yeah, before I get some questions too.
We've done what's good. Change the people in.
We didn't get a chance to speak.
But you've changed, but you've
You ain't
changed
on- You
the,
ain't on the agenda either, you can't talk either.
well, how did you get on the agenda? You've
All
taken
these
that
people
thing
didn't come
off.
to this meeting not to get to speak.
They need to get on the agenda then.
Well, you don't even have the thing on there used to, there was like an open discussion thing, and that's when you could
That was-
ask
that was
questions.
with the
It's
jail
not
committee.
on here.
I know it ain't, because we don't have the committee no more.
No, I used to have
No,
the 5 minutes
no, I'm not
for anybody
talking
wants to
about that.
speak.
And I have
And
a
this
question
business should be at the
about,
end of the meeting and not in the front where everybody wasn't even here.
Do you not want to hear from the community?
The community,
no, they don't.
They don't want to hear from nobody. They want to do what they're wanting to do.
no, we don't.
You know,
We asked the new.
Look at all these
business,
people come
anybody.
here today.
Come here trying to help the county, Marvin, at least
We're all
have
over
the
the
ear
What do you got to
open.
say? What do you got to say?
I got
I'd
some
like to hear what
comments.
Rick's got to
What
say,
have you
Rick.
to say?
I want to comment on Clark's comment about the jail and he hadn't done anything. Hell, we've worked on this thing 7 days a week. Nearly everybody in here I've talked to multiple times over about this.
some crap now. Might get some crap now.
And he's saying we haven't done nothing. We got the payment made last payment without taking anything out of the general fund.
Yeah, but selling the rock square where that's a little iffy, if that was even legal.
Well, y'all made the decision.
I know we did. We said that it's
The
a little
city
iffy.
pitched in their funds to help make it. And then y'all said we haven't done nothing.
I didn't say you hadn't done anything. Now
You
you put
said we
words in my
haven't,
mouth.
we haven't.
We said you had.
I said you had no solution. If you got a solution, let's hear it.
We got a solution right here. Y'all signed a resolution back in December that y'all was gonna help do something, and I don't think you've done any of it. But we'll read it next.
Also, there was findings on the audits that made recommendations to get us to where we needed to do. Both the county audit and the trust authority audit. Not a single recommendation was followed. Your response was, we agree, but we're not going to do anything. Secondly, you made the promise to dedicate the additional $0.25 to the jail. You didn't do it. You said at the new budget time this year, the $0.25 would be dedicated. Now you haven't done that. Now you ask for additional
The
$0.50.
budget ain't been set yet, Bobby.
And he said
40
if it was legal.
Yeah,
40% of the budget's been spread, has it not?
40%.
Was there any provision for that $0.25 made?
Not till it all gets here. We ain't going to see how much it's going to be.
We were told July 1st in the meeting that it would be done on July 1st.
It can't be done. The schools and stuff ain't even got theirs in.
This is sales tax, not ad valorem. Two different things.
Sales tax.
Two things. The sales tax budget, just as your member said, has nothing to do with the ad valorem tax. Two separate items. Two different sources of revenue.
What did,
Now,
excuse me, what did the voters approve that 0.25% for?
that doesn't matter. The
Oh, it doesn't
commissioner,
matter.
the
The voters of
commissioner,
the county don't matter.
no, the
Wow.
commissioners made a promise to the bondholders to dedicate that revenue source, and as a result of that, they refinanced it and expect it to be paid. The citizens Stigler pay their sales tax, expecting that note to be paid next April. If it's not, we're going to be mighty disappointed. Whether it was legal or not, you made the commitment. You also refinanced it without a means to pay for it, on the hopes that we would subsequently pass an additional sales tax. Kind of got the cart before the horse on that one, fellas.
Who does the actual budget planning?
Harry Patton and the Exxon Board, right?
So as far as does every office give their numbers of what they need for the next year, then Patton basically kind of puts it in, I guess he's a CPA or an auditor? Okay. And he puts numbers together for your approval?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know who.
He gives us the total figure that we can appropriate.
Well, I mean, the
Then we
budget should come up for what people need, not what you got coming in.
Beg pardon?
Well, I mean, do you not budget each department as far as caring what you need for your office? You put together
Exactly.
what your employees.
Yes,
And then
based
you-
on what we get to appropriate.
Okay,
You have a number to work with, they have a number to work with. They have to work within that number.
Right.
okay.
And we discussed before putting money back in this budget to pay for that bond.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we discussed. If
And so
we-
he's charged with trying to do that, trying to find that amount in what he's doing too? Or you told him what your objective is as far as we need this 61,000? Can you build that into the budget? You
We will try to
communicated
do that during, when we
We've just
do
started
the
the
budget.
estimate needs process.
I mean, but it just seems like that'd be the guy to visit with as far as trying to put the
Yes,
numbers
right.
together. At least get that in front of him so he can be planning and say, hey, if we do this over here, we might can come up with X number here, X number here. So I just want to make sure he was understood that was something he needed to have as a goal.
Bill, he came in and talked with this group, everybody that wanted to come. Were you not here when he came? He came in and had a special meeting where he talked to everybody that wanted to. It was published.
I mean, I'm just curious as far as he had that, information
He
for a
was
goal.
here on behalf of being asked to explain to us how they needed a half-cent sales tax. And he had some numbers that didn't agree with the numbers that we've been given by the tax, or the county treasurer. Here again, it doesn't really matter about half-cent sales tax. There's no plan B is if the sales tax didn't pass. The vote was counted, even though it wasn't certified, it wouldn't have passed by almost 50%. So, with that being said, all I'm asking for, Clark, is that we're needing to approach Plan B. And I guess if you don't want us on that authority because we pointed some facts out, I've been accused of humiliating people and everything else in this meeting. If there wasn't room for humiliation, I wouldn't be able to bring it to attention. That's not the intent. The intent is to get people to look at this seriously and try to come up with a solution and work with us to find out how we can make these payments and not take the county into default.
In my opinion, as I stated, you fought against it. The only real solution that has come through here that would actually solve the problem. So that's not trying to help.
So you're saying we undermined you on trying to get a half-cent sales tax?
Absolutely. Y'all, if it hadn't have been, if the deal hadn't
But you don't take into consideration.
If it hadn't been voided by the DA's mistake, you would have got it defeated.
We never once said it was against the sales tax, and we admitted we was for sales tax.
I believe we better read the article that you put in the paper.
It was the illegal tax.
Well, now
You can't
y'all know
tell
more
the
than the
people.
district attorney.
Apparently we do.
And he never proved the precedent as well. And let's not forget,
How long
Marvin.
y'all know that, Rich?
We told y'all that from the day you wanted it, that you couldn't go out for economic development. It's against the law.
Well, and we, like I say,
And y'all kept on saying it was okay.
Who is our legal counsel?
He was right in here, and all
Well,
the
We're
people in
strictly
here,
going on
told
what
us
he
it was
tells
illegal.
us.
Well,
He said
He said it was not.
He did not say it was
Farley
illegal.
Ward.
He did too.
He
He
did
said.
too.
In the first meeting we had, he said it was legal, because he said other counties has done
He
it.
said it has been overruled in Supreme Court.
Yeah.
He said it was not
I'm
economic
talking about the
development.
first time. I'm talking about the first time.
Well, we're talking about the sales tax in general.
Well, I want to say something before
I guess I
everybody
missed
gets
that
out the
one.
door. About this, I wasn't here last week, but the week before, it was decided, they read off who all had to be on the trust authority. and they read everybody off, and the only thing that was left to do, Clark was going to talk to somebody in Keota that he thought would serve on it, and Paul was going to talk to 2 men or 1 man. Well, I believe he was supposed to talk to Stanley Glantz for one. I know that, and then they if they approved and said okay, they would be on that authority, and that was the setup authority. Now, did you do something last week to get rid of that? Because I come in here today and
Well, to save the confusion, what they did was, under the pretense that they were going to apply us to the new authority, they dismissed the old committee.
right.
Well, then after they dismissed the committee, they decided they didn't want us on the authority, and that's when last week we brought that to everybody's attention, that it was obvious that they didn't want us on there. They did everything but say, no, we don't want you on there, which Clark has stated today that that's his intent. So I guess if we would have been for the sales tax and it would have defeated Clark, would we still be on the authority?
I would believe you was trying to help. I got a question.
Still don't understand
I
that.
got a question for you. I brought up the question about Mr. Glantz being on there, and I got a paper 2 weeks ago where he had been indicted and charged. Now, why would you would want someone like that on here?
I don't know. I didn't know. I just
Randy's
Paul
one-
just said he was
Randy's
going
one
to
that
talk to
his name
Mr.
right.
Glantz and
And in answer to
somebody else.
one of your comments, I have talked to another person in Keota, and
Okay.
I'm waiting on a reply.
Well, that's good.
The deal is, we got the wolf at the door on this payment, and every week and 2 weeks that go by not having a committee put together trying to figure out a solution, we're getting closer to having to really hurt somewhere along the way. It just seems like, these guys need to be on there. I mean, they put the time in, you guys know it, and they come up with solutions, and I don't know why you guys have bucked them along the way. They have no hidden agenda in this. They just want to get it right.
All these men have tried to do is help this situation, help the county. They're all businessmen in this county, same as I am, and same as Bill is. All they're trying to do is help the county.
Amen.
I wished I had the help come to me that these men have brought to the county.
Well, you don't have to be on any board to help.
That's why we're here. We're trying to help the county. We care.
These guys have spent countless hours working on this. Should be appreciated.
Barbara, you said they hadn't done a single thing. I'm going to say one thing, and then I won't say anything else today.
I didn't say that. You better go back. I asked them what have they done.
I'm fixing to tell you what they done. There was no plan or no way to meet the debt service payment in April. Had these fellows not come up with a way, we would have hit the debt service requirement account and technically defaulted on the note and the bonds. Because we had no plan in place to pay the debt. That's what they did. They saved us from destroying our credit rating. And if we don't put our trust in someone to help you guys, we're going to be facing the same issue in April again. Because we haven't made provisions to make the principal and interest payment as we committed to do when we refinance the bonds.
And why you won't give them the authority and let them run with it and try to figure out how to get out of this ditch, I don't understand. I mean, we don't have the answers. You guys don't. They don't. But you just fight them every step of the way when they're trying to figure it out. And I don't know if it's a protection thing or whatever, but it's just the whole community's, we're worried. There's no hidden agenda here of trying to get in somebody's, office or this or that. It's just trying to fix what the problem is. We realize you guys weren't the commissioners when this first started, but the fact that, we refinanced again a couple of years ago, and now you've hired the same bond attorney that gave us bad advice, in my opinion, before. We're just going to get deeper in debt. I mean, every time he can do something, he's going to make money, so he's all for it.
We haven't hired him. He was, the chairman talked to him on the phone, one phone call.
But the chairman himself said he didn't trust him a bit. Now, I know that's a fact.
Well, we didn't hire him. You didn't hear Mayor Clark wanting to say nothing about that.
Well, and Paul said several times he didn't trust him. And why you'd get back in bed with someone like that versus try someone new that might have some new solutions.
Paul's only one vote.
Well, I think it's a big mistake not to put these gentlemen back on a board and get after it pretty quick.
I will say in regard to Kerry Patton, that there was something said after I said what I did that was not just a meeting to find out about whether that was economic development or not. That was not the purpose. The purpose was that Kerry knew our budget and could tell us if or not we could do what you proposed in your proposal of taking the 1/4 cent. And his reply was absolutely not. The county would go under within 1 year.
Oh, Ms. Hurst, where was Kerry when you pledged it to the bank to do the refinancing?
Well, I don't think he's involved in the daily county business. He's involved in the budgeting of the county business once a year when he comes in and works the annual budget. He came in to try to shed some light on the situation. I know there needs to be a resolution to this. I know there needs to be an answer, but let's don't cut our nose off to spite our face. Save the jail and lose the county courthouse. I don't know that that's a very good option, and that seems to be, in light of the information that we've been given, that seems to be what is being advocated here, is that we just go ahead and take it, and go ahead and take that money from the county and let the county go under, but at least we save the jail. And I don't know that anybody's really listening to what we are being told. As Clark mentioned, how are you going, the deputies are paid, the jail staff are paid out of that very fund you're talking about taking the money from to make the payment. So you've made the payment, but you don't have anybody to run it now because you just took all that money. It's not, I don't know what the right answer is. I'm not sitting here saying I know what the right answer is. I'm just saying let's all be level-headed. Stop looking at, I want to do it this way and I want to do it this way, and listen to what the legal advice, okay, the financial advice. You know, let's don't sink the county because we want to save the jail.
I don't know if you're addressing me to this. I don't know where you're getting your information that I want to see the courthouse shut down. That's never even entered my mind.
No, you've advocated taking that 1/4% though, and you've done it again today.
But what I've done is I've showed that they have pledged it to a bank for refinancing. And if they were going to do that, then they should have considered the problems that comes with that.
It did have its share of problems with it when that was done. But now what do you do with that?
You're still sharing the problems that came with it.
Is it illegal? Do you continue? Okay, because this is the question. Is it illegal? Because the voters voted for that money to run the county government, the county courthouse. So
and who's the county government?
Whether it's legal or not, Randy, I can't say. I'm not the legal authority to say whether that was legal for them to do that or not when they pledged that.
That should have been addressed before it was pledged.
Agreed, but it wasn't. So do you just keep on doing the illegal thing?
Yeah, but you still made the pledge.
You've got to.
You can't change your mind in the middle of the road and just say, "Well,
I've been stealing money from Peter to pay Paul, but I can just keep on doing it."
It shouldn't have been pledged.
Well, but it was. That's what I'm saying. You got to look for the right answer. Don't just look for an answer.
Well, show us the right answer.
I just told you I don't have it, but I'm not ready to just jump in and bankrupt the county because of it. I would like to see our county be able to come out on top everywhere, not just at the jail.
Well, we'll never get anywhere by going through the meetings like we're going through now. Nothing ever happens. Nobody makes decisions. They won't pass it on. And until everybody gets their head up straight and starts doing something, you ain't going to see nothing change. And that's what's going on right now. Every meeting, they want to just push it down the road.
It's always, I'm going to talk to somebody this week and I'll get back to you next week.
And they never talk to nobody.
They never do.
Need to get all the parties that be, sit down at the budget meeting and sit down and try to figure out where the numbers are. I mean, everybody in here that runs a business, that's how you do it. And if you got to cut somewhere, you got to cut. But telling a banker you're not going to pay him just because it's not in the budget, that's not going to mean much to him. And the longer you go on without allocating funds, that's what Randy keeps saying. If we'd have done 3,000 somewhere, sure, it's going to hurt. And we know all this is going to hurt somewhere. But now it's going to be 60 or 70 we're going to have to come up with. It just doesn't make sense not to get everybody sit down, and if you got to do it for 2 weeks in a row, sit down at the table with that auditor trying to figure out how you're going to come up with the money to do all this. That's what you got to do. You guys hired on to do this. Let's figure it out.
If you ruin your credit, you're shot.
You're shot. Any grant, anything, you got an asterisk against them then, and it's serious stuff. But thanks for listening to us.
I'll make a motion with Jerry.
Second.
Well, if Bobby will get out of the way, we can get out. That needs to be part of that evacuation plan.
Thank you.